Hello everyone and welcome to another video. It has been 6 months or so. It's been a really long time since I've made a video because a lot of things have been happening and it's been a little crazy. Not necessarily all good things, but yeah, life has just kind of been like kicking me in the butt. Like every time I start getting up and knocks me every time I get back up, it seems to just knock me back down. So right now I'm feeling good. I'm doing better. I'm very excited to be making this video. So the last video I was supposed to make was a recap of the TCM Film Festival, and things happened right afterwards that kind of stopped me from finishing that video, and I thought instead of like trying to piece back together that video, I would make a new one kind of just telling you guys about my love for classic film, because I thought that would be kind of a cool vlog, kind of an update at the same time. If you guys are still interested in that video, just go ahead and let me know in the comments below, and I will go ahead and try to put that video back together. One more thing before I kind of like give you my spiel about classic film. If you guys have any suggestions for future videos, if you guys want to see more of my written sketch comedy kind of things, or if you'd rather see more of the what would I call them? The cooking with cat kind of videos where I kind of show you how to make different things. I know Christmas is coming up. I have a lot of cookie recipes. So if you want some good cookie recipes, let me know in the comments. I will share them with you. Yes, I will. I could do that. I also had a friend who came up to me. We were talking about movies and he's like, you should be a... Not... He said... he came up to me and he said, you should really critique movies because that's hilarious. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll just do it on my YouTube channel. He's like, I totally watch it, so maybe I'll do that. Also vlogs. If you guys just want to see more vlogs and me talking to you and then you guys talking back to me in the comments, or if you want me to try to figure out some more technology and do a YouTube live video, I will do that just for you. Anyway, yeah, so on to the subject of the video. I had this really cool gig during Halloween. I worked at a haunt, and a few of my coworkers were really into classic film as well. So during our breaks, we would always talk about movies and different directors. And then I told them about like this channel, and they said, "Oh, you should start it up again." So this is kind of like tipping my hat off to, or take. This is to you guys. I'll just say it like that. I don't know what the saying is. So I got into classic film because of TCM, Turner Classic Movies. It was like always playing when I was younger. Well, my mom really loves classic film, so whenever she had the remote, she would turn on TCM and we'd watch, I don't know, so many different movies. I mean, some of her favorite actors and actresses were like Jimmy Stewart, Doris Day. She really enjoyed watching Bob Hope. She had a lot of influence on my passion for classic movies, and through that passion has kind of led me towards my career in acting because I saw these people on screen and I just thought it was just so amazing to watch someone become someone else and then to watch them in multiple different roles. Like Jimmy Stewart, I will tell you this right now, he's my favorite actor. I mean, I also love, Cary Grant, and I do love Doris Day and Lucille Ball, and the list goes on and on. But Jimmy Stewart, I mean, give him a part and he can play it. I love that about him. Absolutely love that. I remember I watched After the Thin Man. I hadn't seen it before. I've seen the first one, and then I've watched Jimmy Stewart in a bunch of different films. And I don't want to give too much away because you should totally watch it if you haven't already. But Jimmy Stewart, I was just like, Jimmy, how could you? So that he's just amazing. I really aspire to be the next Jimmy Stewart. I want to really push myself to become that kind of artist who really dedicates themselves to their craft and then whatever they're doing. Like, I don't think I've ever seen him in a role where he didn't give it his 110%. So that's my goal. And so it's really influenced not just what kind of media I watch, but like my entire life. So I took a history of film class, and that was really just such a fun class. Mostly because I kind of knew I knew a lot of it, but only in certain sections, because I really enjoy films from the 30s. I really like films from the 40s. The 30s, the 40s, and the 50s. Some films going into the 60s. Not too much of like the 70s or 80s, but I really like those older films. And silent films, I feel like for me they're hit or miss. I think I've watched a few of them with live music, and that makes all the difference. Like if you have the opportunity to watch a silent film and then there's like a pianist there, go to it. I highly recommend it. It will change your mind about silent film. I know it did me, because before I was just like, oh, this is so boring, but no, it's not. Speaking of silent film, there's some really big silent film stars, and I really enjoy comedic silent films because it's very vaudeville, and vaudeville just is a type of performance. It's very physical, and it's vaudeville really influences early comedy and a lot of slapstick comedy. But I know usually people think, oh yeah, old comedians, Charlie Chaplin. I think Charlie Chaplin's okay. He's kind of funny, you know. But I prefer Buster Keaton. Like, I mean, he just just thinking about his he just keeps a straight face, and like things just keep happening to him. And I remember there's this one where they were in a house and they just bought it, and it was like a build your own house. It was like an IKEA kit, and they were putting it together, and they went through all the, I don't know, it was crazy. But they finally got the house built, and they were having a housewarming party, but there was a storm, and the house started spinning. Oh my gosh, I just I can't remember the name of the movie, but it's so funny. Like, look it up, find it, watch it. You won't regret it. And what's amazing is that Buster Keaton did all the stunts. I mean, they didn't have stunt doubles back then. They didn't have, the union wasn't a thing, so like there weren't people going in saying, hey, you can't just jump off that building, that's unsafe. They just jumped off the building. So I think that's really amazing to see. Oh, and then it gets me every time. The first James Cagney gangster movie, The Public Enemy. There's a scene where the characters are getting shot at, and that's real. They actually took a gun on set and started shooting them with real bullets. It's crazy. But of course that was before the union, and after that they were like, we need to have a union for the actors because it's very dangerous. Of course there were accidents on set, but you know, there wasn't as many protections, and I think nowadays it's a lot safer, even though there still are things that happen, because, you know, we're humans, we're imperfect, and, you know, sometimes things just don't go according to plan. But I think that's crazy. Like, it's really scary to think about being an actor back then. Also, Public Enemy. If you haven't watched it, watch it. It's a really great film. It's a pre-code film, and that a pre-code film means that there weren't restrictions in place. Unlike, I know a lot of people think, oh yeah, the 50s, they were fun, and people didn't curse, and they didn't, I don't know, they didn't show a bunch of things, and they weren't so risque, and that's not the case. Talk to anyone who lived through that time. I'm not that person, but like talk to your parents, talk to your grandparents, because that's just, they didn't show it in movies, but it happened in real life. And that's because the code told them, no, you know, we can't have you cussing, we can't have you showing these things. Another thing was, like, I mean, you'll notice like most 1940s movies are exactly an hour and a half. That's because the studios were told they had to keep that if they wanted to be shown in movie theaters. And you have to be shown in movie theaters if you want to make any money. They didn't have like DVD or VHS back then, or Blu-ray or streaming, I think is the new thing. Yeah, I'm very much still stuck in the past. So so pre-code films didn't have any restrictions. If you watch one of those movies, it'll totally change your mind on what classic film is like. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people, especially people my age, the younger generation, who don't like classic films because some of them believe they can't follow the story because of the way they talk. I know a lot of actors had to go through voice classes and had a voice coach that told them, like, this is how you have to speak. If you really want to see that kind of transition from like the silent films where they didn't have to, there was a lot of international actors, and there was a bit more of a it was more diverse in Hollywood, because you could have someone who only speaks Italian come in and then just act, and they didn't have to worry about their accent or knowing English. But as soon as they started doing talkies, as they called them, they had to worry about how they sounded. So that's why the same thing with the code, everything needed to be the same. That's why the actors had to talk a certain way in order to get cast. And if you want a really good example of that, I highly recommend watching Singing in the Rain. It is a musical. I'm not a musical person, but I think it's so historically interesting because it's fairly accurate. So it's really interesting to watch. And, it's a fun film anyway, like, watch it if you haven't. That's just a little bit, in a nutshell, about, like, the history of film. Definitely, like, let me know if you want me to talk more about, like, the history or certain periods. Like, oh, I want you to talk about Howard Hawks, who happens to be one of my favorite directors ever. And if I had a chance to work with any director ever, probably would be Howard Hawks, because I love his movies. I mean, he worked with some of my favorite actors, Jimmy Stewart, Cary Grant, Bogey and Bacall. In case you don't know who they are, it's Lauren Bacall and Humphrey Bogart. I mean, they are the dream team. I watched To Have and Have Not for the first time on the big screen on the TCM Film Festival, not last year, but the year before. Mind blown. Completely changed how I thought about, like, Lauren Bacall and Humphrey Bogart. I hadn't seen a movie with them two together, but I don't know, just the chemistry of them working together is just so real. And you could tell it was like, part of it wasn't acting. If you don't know this, they actually got married and they had a child together, and they were very much so in love. But that movie is just absolutely another highly recommended movie, because it's so good. And it's, like, suspenseful, and it's also romantic, and there's action, and then there's sad parts, and there's funny parts. And, like, really quick side note, so Lauren Bacall is shown singing a lot throughout it, but it's not her who's singing. It's actually the composer, who was a man, and since Lauren Bacall had such a low voice, they could get away with him singing what he wrote. And I'm like, what? I haven't been able to watch the movie the same ever again. So definitely watch To Have and Have Not. Very good. Oh yeah, I was talking about Howard Hawks. Howard Hawks is just I just love his work. Also, the Philadelphia Story. I love it so much. It has Cary Grant, Jimmy Stewart, and Katharine Hepburn. I love Katharine Hepburn, especially whenever she's with Cary Grant, because they have a lot of their films together are screwball comedies, and they're just so funny together. And the first, I don't know, what is it, like 10 minutes? Yeah, Cary Grant, who, like, shoves Katharine Hepburn back, and it's the funniest thing ever. So, if you need a good laugh, definitely check out the Philadelphia Story. Yeah, let me see, what else can I recommend you watch? Arsenic and Old Lace. I love that movie. It's so funny. Another Cary Grant movie. This guy is, He's getting married. He gets married. And then he comes back, and then they're supposed to have their honeymoon. They're gonna announce it to, like, their family. And all these things happen. And Cary Grant the whole time is just like, you know? And, oh, I don't want to give anything away, so I don't want to tell you too much, but it's really hilarious. It's like, it's suspenseful, but in a funny way, because, like, the things that happen are just so ridiculous. It's great. Highly recommend that one. If you want more of a dramatic movie, Now Voyagers starring Bette Davis. Very good movie. Doris Day. I haven't talked about Doris Day. Absolutely love her. She just has this, I don't know, just not lighthearted, but she has such a, I guess, a big presence on the screen. And she's just so good. I just want to be like Doris Day. If you watch any of Doris Day and Rock Hudson films, they're so good. I really love Pillow Talk. That's a really fun one. Did I mention with 60 Get Egg Roll? I don't know if I have, but watch with 60 Get Egg Roll. It's really cute. It's you know, it's a normal story about, like, a blended family trying to get together and get along, and I think it's really cute. It's funny. It's lighthearted. It's a really cute movie. There's just so many good films out there. Like, educate yourself. You know, go out there and watch some of these old films. Don't be daunted by it not being in color or by the way they talk. Because honestly, I mean, the more you watch, the more you're going to get used to it, and it's going to be just really... Oh, I almost forgot. Since it's almost Christmas, you may or may not have watched a movie called It's a Wonderful Life. That's a holiday favorite. I have to watch it every Christmas. I think I watched it for the first time 2 years ago, and it's such a good film. And it stars Jimmy Stewart, and again, just, oh my gosh, it made me cry. It made me cry in a good way, and it really makes me think afterwards, and I think a lot of good art spawns from thoughts that come after you walk away from it. Yeah, if something leaves you thinking, or leaves me thinking when I walk away, I know it's a good film, and it's, you know, It's a Wonderful Life is something I think about a lot. So if you haven't watched it, watch it. It's really cute. It's sad. It's also happy. It's really good. And then also, if you want something a little bit more lighthearted, White Christmas is really good. I know I'm recommending, like, a lot of musicals, and I told you I'm not a musical person. I really am not. But it's really good. It has a lot of singing, a lot of choreographed pieces, but the plot is really good. These people, or these two men, just came home from serving in the army. I think it was the army. I don't know which branch they come from, but they come back and they go to this inn that one of their commanding officers had before they left, but it's not making any money. It's gonna shut down, so they pull their resources together. I think that's White Christmas. Sounds like Holiday Inn. I'm not sure. I always get them mixed up. But it's a really good movie. I'll look into it some more, let you guys know. So watch those two movies for Christmas. Alright, so fun fact, my camera stops recording once it hits the 20-minute mark, and it stopped recording, and I filmed, like, the entire outro, and it was beautiful, and I talked about a lot of things, and it made me cry. No, I didn't cry. So it's lost. It's gone. It didn't record. So I'm gonna try to pick up again where I left off. I only talked for like another 3 minutes, but it's all gone. Wasn't recorded. So anyway, I was just talking about White Christmas and It's a Wonderful Life. Watch those. Other classic, you know, Christmas movies are The Miracle on 34th Street, which I won't watch because for some odd weird coincidence, every time I watch it, I get really, really, really sick. So I haven't watched that in years. But I know it's a good movie. It's one of the classics. Also, The Shop Around the Corner is really cute. Christmas in Connecticut, another classic. So those 5 movies are really good to watch around the holiday season. Kind of to get you in the spirit, in the mood for the season, the reason for the season. more words. Nah. So those ones are good. I realized that I only gave you recommendations for like dramatic and comedic films and then holiday films, and I didn't even touch on horror, sci-fi, or westerns. Like, what? What? There are so many good films and I completely missed it, so I might be doing a part 2 to this video. If you want to see that, go ahead and let me know in the go ahead and let me know in the comments, and I will go ahead and make a new video. I might just do that anyways because I love talking about classic film and film history because it's so much fun. Also international films. If you need some good foreign films, like, let me know. I will totally give you a really good list. Yeah, so I think that's kind of it. I think I kind of touched on everything. I don't know what I said when I wasn't recording, so I'll do my best to summarize. I pretty much said that you guys are wonderful people, and I hope everything. Okay, I'm stopping with that accent. That's so weird. But I hope you guys are doing good. That life is treating you well. Enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and then hit subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I hopefully will be making another video before another 6 months because that would be insane. I don't want to do that again. And again, I say again so many times. Just let me know if there's a certain video you want to watch and I'll make it. And I'm so excited to be back in this again and to be making videos. So, enjoy the rest of your day. You guys are beautiful human beings. Take care of yourself. Do what you gotta do. And I'll see you guys next video. Alright? Bye.